Okay, the next one that we're going to work on is Jeremy Solo. This one's a little complicated because, as you'll see, the image scales up from nothing, and it's in slow motion. It hits a certain part that actually where part of the clip is actually reversed, and so all in all, there's a lot of stuff going on. You'll notice that the part that I use is kind of the marker is when he throws his elbows up right here. You'll notice that that's part where the clip is actually reversed. So I'm going to go ahead and put a marker in on that clip right at the reverse, and then I'm going to go back over here and set an in and out point on either side of them and get him down to the timeline. Okay. Now once he's in the timeline, the first thing I'm going to want to do with this clip is change its speed, because you'll note that when it plays, he's dancing really fast, and I want to see that longer. And I can do that by just changing the speed. Apple J is a shortcut for speed. I could have gone to modify speed like that as well. I just have the clip selected and I can do that. I'm going to go ahead and take him down to 50%. Okay, and now when the clip plays, you can see there he is. He's dancing a little bit slower. I'm also going to extend the clip out a little bit so that we get that part where he's kind of swinging his legs a little bit more right at the start. Okay. The other thing I'm going to do right here is, at this point, I'm going to start putting on some of the filters that we're going to use on this clip. The first one is going to be the tint. If I go to video filters and just go to tint, image control, then tint, you'll notice that it goes black and white. I can change that to red like that and take down the amount slider, so that now I've got it so that it's slightly red. Okay, great. The next one I want to use on him is video filters, matte soft edges. Mattes are kind of cool little overlays that you can do to hide different parts of the image. When I let go of soft edges, you can see how now he's got that soft edge around him. Okay. The next thing I'm going to do is now work out the animation on the front part of the frame. Okay. I'm going to move my playhead to the very beginning. I'm going to double click it to make sure that I'm working on that instance of the clip inside the timeline. And now I'm going to go ahead and click on the motion tab, and now we'll play around with these motion parameters. I am going to affect the scale and rotation of the clip, and that'll be enough there. So let me go ahead and now grab the clip. Since this is where it's going to start at, I'm going to go ahead and shrink this clip down. We can scale it all the way down to actually small enough to where we can barely see it, and then within a second we want this thing to be up full screen. We also know it's going to be spinning as it does it. So once I have my first keyframe set right here for scale and rotation, I'm going to move the playhead over 1 second. Okay, so if I just type in plus 100 on the keyboard and hit enter, okay, that has just moved up 1 second. And actually I want it to happen faster than that, so I'm going to undo, and I'm going to go and type in plus 15, okay, which will be 15 frames, plus 15, hit enter, and now I've moved over 15 frames. In that time, I would like it to, oops, it looks like my scale thing should be taken down to 100, and I'll bring that back to plus 15. And now I'm going to bring my scale up to 100. Now it's full screen, and also I want it to have spun 2 times, so I'll type in 720 over here and hit enter. And now if I scrub back, you'll notice that in 15 frames, basically, that clip comes up from nothing to full screen. Okay, and now he's dancing, and we see him dance in slow motion. I keep getting that error message because it's going to want to render what it is that I've done, so I'm just going to go ahead and hit Apple R really quick just to render out that selection. Once it's rendered, we'll see what it looks like. I'm not quite done with the clip yet until I cut it and reverse it, so we'll see what that looks like in just a sec. So here's the start to the clip. Boom, it spins up, and there's his elbows out. Okay, and what I'm going to want to do is now cut the clip right here, Apple cut, there's the B for blade, and I'm going to go ahead and delete this last part, and this clip I'm going to just hold down the option key and drag over, okay, And what the Option key does is actually copies the footage. If I click and hold Option, right, it's very nicely done. And if I'll go to I'm going to double click the clip, and now I'm going to go to the filters, the motion tab, and I'm going to clear all that animation that we set before. I'm going to hit Apple J on it again, and this time I'm going to click reverse, right? So that now, once I click OK, you'll watch as he goes along. He's dancing, he puts his elbow out, and now he continues dancing but in the reverse motion. I'm going to render that as well. And this is what we've got. Scale up, dancing, puts his elbows out, and continues dancing in reverse. And that is the full Jeremy solo.